today, what we're going to focus on are these areas that have the blue rectangles around them. So we're going to put a link back to the store. We're going to go ahead and activate our Buy App button so that it actually buys an app. And we're going to put descriptions of our screenshots over here. And then we're going to give users a way to register for updates in our site. So let's go ahead and get started. So one of our students, Patrick, was gracious enough to let us use his site. So here's the Just Grillax site, your thrill of the grill. And you can see that Patrick's got a description. Let's start with the easy stuff first. So he's got these screenshots, but he has no description of what the screenshots do, and it'd be nice to have that. So what I'm going to do is to go up to the top. I want to edit this page, so I click on the pencil. You might also have an edit page button. And it throws me into the editor. Now he's got his screenshots in a table, but at the top of the screenshot, if I click, I can get a little cursor there. You see it blinking? Then if I go up to the table menu, I can say Insert Row Below. And that throws in a little row just underneath. And there I can put descriptions of each of these screenshots. Like, this is the opening screen. And whatever else. Try to keep them short. For the second row, I would do the same thing. I click in the top here. I'm clicking just above the screenshot, come up to table, and pick Insert Row Below, and that throws in a little row down here, and I can put in descriptions in this row as well. This is the reminder. We've just gone in and done these items here, put in the comments. Luke, are you paying attention? I'd like the Buy App button to actually help somebody buy the app. But in order to do that, I actually need to link it back to the store. Okay, which site is your class site? Well, all of our class sites start out with sites.google.com, just like your site does. And then if you're in the 10 o'clock class, it'll be /site MW for Monday, Wednesday, 10 a.m. If you're in the 11 a.m., /site class MW 11 a.m. I couldn't get the same name for both of them. And then for the Tuesday, Thursday, 1 p.m. site /class TR Tuesday, Thursday, 1 p.m. And that tells you which one you're in. You might want to write that down. Know you're in the right place because it will actually have the time of your class over here to the left. That's just a double check. Now, a couple things that we'd like to do here. First of all, we have to register the app. You'll see right now no apps are registered. So we'll click on Register App, and now we have to pick a category for Patrick's app. Now, the URL of the app, that's the actual link to the app. Well, I happen to have that open over here in this other tab. And there you can see this is the URL, the sites.google.com /site/grillax1. So I'll copy that and then go ahead and dump it in there for the URL. The only thing that I don't like about the URL, the way that it came in, is the very first part, the HTTPS. We don't need secure, so I'm going to take the S off. Now to see, gee, did it work? Go to the Buy Apps button, and if everything worked just fine, we should be in there. And sure enough, there's Grillax, the thrill of the grill, and there's a link here, which now, if we click on it, should take us, and indeed does take us, to his site. Now, what about creating the buy button, right? Because now the store links to him. We just proved that. But now he's got to link back to the store. So if we go to the Create Buy button, this tells us how to make his app or how to activate his buy button. And the bottom line is all we're trying to do on his buy button is to create a hyperlink back to the store. And this is the hyperlink here. It's this big, huge hyperlink that you see here. The parts in red you actually have to change. I need to, bottom line, highlight this whole URL. I'm going to copy it because that's the URL that I need. And then I'm going to come back to his page, Patrick's page. I'm still in edit mode, which is nice, and I'm going to highlight this Buy App button, right? And now I want to turn that into a hyperlink. Are you paying attention? There's no shortcut to the hyperlink, so I'm going to have to come up here to the menu, and you can see the hyperlink icon. So I'll click on that, and now it's saying, hey, what do you want to link to? Do you want to link to an existing page or a web address? Well, we want to go to a web address, right? Because the buy page isn't in his store. So I'll click on web address, and I'll paste in that URL. All right, now I've got to change the URL so that it's actually his site. So first of all, after site, his URL was just GrillX1. That's the URL that we had. All right, so that part's done. The category, I think we said was, I forget what we said. Let's go with entertainment. It's a long night. Entertainment. There we go. And then the app name is going to be over here, GrillX. Okay. When all that's done, I click OK. And now, if I've done everything right, the buy button should work. So let's save the page and see if it does. Hit save, and then I'll hover over the buy button. It looks like a link. I've got the finger there. Click on it, and it jumps me into the sales page. See, it says sales here, and this is the sales page of the mother store, right? It's put in the proper category, which is entertainment. If you spell it wrong, it won't get the proper category, so go back and check your spelling if that didn't work. And then it's showing me the URL of his site. Okay, and then this is for the buyer now. So this is like, say, someone's going to buy it. So let's pretend that I'm buying his app. Now, if it should actually be the top selling app, since there's only one app. And there it is. GrillX, there was actually one purchase of GrillX. So everything seems to be working okay so far, which is wonderful. You always want stuff to be working. Now we'd like to have a link back to the store. So let's make that the next thing that we do. I can either click Edit Sidebar right here, or I can go Site Manage Site and get to the same spot, but I'll go ahead and click Edit Sidebar, and you'll see that it'll take me basically to where that Site Manage Site normally takes me. Look at that, Luke. So I'm going to edit the navigation. And notice here it says automatically organize my navigation. That's great in the beginning, but now when we have to do something special, that doesn't work anymore. So I'm going to uncheck that. I'm also going to uncheck this sitemap because I don't want to see a sitemap. Now it's showing me the pages that I have now. I've got the home page, the About Us, and the blog. But I want to include a link back to the store. Well, that's not a page, right? It's not add page. It's actually add a URL because it's going back to the store. So I click add URL. Text to display is store. And the URL is sites.google.com/site/class Tuesday, Thursday, 1 p.m. Put in your class there. Don't put class Tuesday, Thursday, 1 p.m. unless you're actually in that class. Then click OK. And then I can change where it appears. It should appear at the top, obviously, because it's going back to the store. There. And that then takes us back to the store. OK. And then we'll go ahead and click OK. We'll save. Go back. And boom, now we've got a link back to the store. Let's see if it works. Click on the link, and voila, back to the store. All right, so just to review again, we've now got our link back to the store. We've got our buy app, and our last item that we need to knock off here is this register for updates. So we'll go ahead and hit that next. Okay, in order to do the register for updates, we actually have to go back to Google Docs. All right, we haven't been to Google Docs before. So how do you get there? You get there the same way you got to Google Sites. You get there through your email. Docs. I have a lot of docs. You probably won't have any unless you've played with it before. All right, so in Google Docs, you're going to go ahead and create. And then it's going to ask you, well, what are you going to create? Well, we're going to create a form. And then we're going to bring that form into our web page. So you pick Form, and there you are. And that form is going to say Register for Updates. And then it's basically going to ask 3 questions. And now I need another one, but I don't have another one because it gave me 2 sort of freebies. So I've got to come up here to Add Item, and it's going to be text again. And this will be the email, and done. Okay, so now we've got a form. Let's go ahead and save it. Okay, so we're back to our site. I've got to edit this page, and now I'm going to come down underneath the table that has his screenshots in it, and I'll put an extra space there. And then I'll insert that form. So I'll say insert, and I'd like this to be a spreadsheet form, right, because that's what it is. And then it's going to show me all the possible forms, probably putting at the top the one that you just did. This will be register for updates. Select it. We'll just take the defaults on this, click save. And it doesn't look like much right now. In fact, it doesn't look like anything right now until we hit save. All right, but now once we hit save, you've actually got a real working form. And people can fill in this form, and as they fill it in fact, I'll go ahead and test it. As they fill it in, then it's actually putting in an entry in Google Docs in my register for updates. See, it's making a spreadsheet entry there, and if more people fill it in, then you'll get more rows. So this is great if you're doing mailing lists and things like that. And we just created a form in Google Docs, then we brought the form into our website, and the form worked. So we're in pretty good shape. Notice that the table where his screenshots sit in kind of looks like a table with all those lines, and that's not terribly pretty. One of the things we can do if we go back into edit page mode is we can click on the HTML button. Do this only if you're very careful, and this will show us the HTML code that's behind the page. And as you look at it, look down until you find the word table. And when you find the word table, what you're looking for is the border. Because right now the border is set to 1. See, it says border equals 1. That means a sort of a 1 pixel line. If I set that to 0 and click update, notice that it didn't take away the big outside edge, right? But it did take all those internal borders away, and it actually looks a little bit slicker as far as the thing goes. Occasionally people will have trouble getting below their table when they go to insert this form. They simply can't get there because the table is at the bottom of this box, and they can't get a blank line. One way that you can always get a blank line if you run into that trouble, if I click on the edit HTML, is come to the very end of your HTML code, and then add, if there isn't one already, add a BR. See that BR, which is in angle brackets? In fact, you can hit return and add one on a line all by itself. Never hurts to have a lot of BRs. BR stands for break. Just make sure that it's in angle brackets, hit update, and that all it does is gives you an extra blank line. In this case, it's this extra blank line right here at the end. So that's another tip as well. But I think that should about cover it, and good luck. Go ahead and ask your TAs if you get stuck, and wish you a lot of luck.